Okay, so all right, the first thing I have here that we wanted to talk about was the No Kings protest. Um, I guess quickly, just to kind of remind everyone, that was on October 18th of this year. I guess it was almost, I guess,
Just
what, 2 weeks
2 weeks
ago?
ago.
Yeah, something
This
like that.
Yeah, everything this year feels like it's so much longer than that.
I know. I can't. To me, it's like I cannot believe we're in November. I feel like 25 just started. So when I looked
Yeah.
at it and I said October, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Anyway, so there were about 2,700 events across 50 states, and estimates are that there were over 7 million participants nationwide. Um, Based on what ChatGPT has told me here, is that there was roughly 200,000 that attended in Washington, D.C., which was the largest, which is pretty cool. Um, I wasn't expecting D.C. to be the largest. Um, and then also 100,000 in New York City. So uh, overall, it was peaceful, organized, creative, costumes, inflatables, songs, dancing, people having fun out in the streets. Overall, it was a pretty successful event, it sounds like. And I'm happy that it had such a large turnout. So, I, well, I'm always the wet blanket. Um, I'm happy that it was a large event. I'm happy that people are waking up and realizing something's going on. But I do worry that, you know, it's without demands, without like an organized, like, I guess, cause that we're fighting for and like something that everyone's agreeing on that needs to happen, like, and there's like mass mobilization around that particular thing. I just don't, this all just feels a bit performative to me. And just a pressure, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Where you
A
let off
pressure
steam,
valve.
pressure valve. Yes, a
Yeah.
pressure valve for I guess people who again are waking up and realizing that something ain't right, but they're not real sure what to do. And they know we have the right to protest, so that seems like the best thing to do. But anyway, John, what are your thoughts?
So a few thoughts rather. I'll start with the fact that I think the two biggest things that the protest did achieve. One is it was so large that the corporate media as a whole hasn't been covering it at all, right? Most people who aren't paying attention, who aren't, just into politics the way you and I might be,
Mm-hmm.
they're just going about their lives. They don't know what's going on the other side. They're just like, oh, everybody's going along with it. It's cool. But so it was just so large that you people are who weren't aware are now aware, right? They understand
Mm-hmm.
that there's probably the vast majority of the country is pissed off about what's going on. I would think that's first. Second is it absolutely demolished in my eyes, in my mind, the notion that the regime, that the administration was putting out there, that the left was a bunch of just violent, causing all the issues, were the reason behind all the violent, shootings and deaths. And it's absolutely not the truth at all. But this was another great way of putting that in mass, that it was as peaceful as it was. Now, I did see a young lady who said it wasn't actually a protest. If nobody got arrested on the side of the protesters, it wasn't a protest. It was
Okay, that's
performative, right? But
yeah,
I think for those two things that I feel like it achieved, I think it did a great job of that.
yeah.
I will say, to add to your point, that if there are, and uh, historian Tad Stormer said in a video not long ago that it is a pressure valve release, but now what's going to be the next step to apply pressure? And I
Mm-hmm.
think one of the biggest challenges that we have as a whole in this country is, at least in my lifetime, and I'm pushing 50. We've never seen anything like this. Now, with my very light amount of history knowledge, I know that there have been times where there's been bits and pieces, right?
Mhm.
Andrew Jackson, and I know Trump has the photo of Andrew Jackson behind him in the Oval Office. I believe it's the Oval Office. Deployment of the National Guard amongst its citizens is not new. If I'm not mistaken, the first time, and it wasn't actually the National Guard at that time, it was the militias, but they the response to Bacon's rebellion was to deploy the militia, which is ultimately what the National Guard is now. So these aren't all new things, but they are, I think, new for us in our lifetime for being all at once, and I think that's part of the problem with, I guess, the left, if you will, and I don't think it's just the left. I think there's a lot of people from center right, center left, even center for American politics that they also have never seen this, and it's so hard because of how much shit they're constantly throwing at us to get our footing,
Mhm.
to even try to assimilate and come up with a demands list of here's what's going to change, here's how we're going to change it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anyone's going to be effectively able to get that going in the other direction.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
go ahead.
Oh, before I forget, I just wanted to say, I think it's important and good that you touched on the fact that the National Guard has been deployed multiple times throughout American history. And I just want to add to that, that it was usually in response to populist uprisings, because there again, the elites are always making sure that they are on top and that they hold on to power and that they are the ones calling the shots. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, you're fine. So, um, I would I'm not an expert on any of this by any means, but it looks to me to very much be that we're under an authoritarian state.